Fantastic players to get here, and he has a chance to make history for himself.
And of course now he is flying that England flag, having seen Tex crash out of the tournament.
المفروض ده بقى اللي خسر مساعد.
Another round of 16 game. Another chance for one of these two to book their tickets to the eChampions League final in Madrid in Spain.
With the giants being eliminated one by one, it's a chance to become a giant yourself. I mean, Joksan now is one of those giants. He must be one of those favorites, not just to get through, but for this entire tournament, considering he did take down Rogue's MS Dasari. Is he starting to find the form that we saw at the start of the season, or was it just a one-off? Maybe it was a bad performance from Dasari. Only time will tell whether Joksan can carry on that form into this game.
I think we are going to see slightly nervy starts to these two legs as well, with what is on the line. Just 2 games of FIFA to decide if you make it to a Madrid, if you make it to the first ever eChampions League final. And these are $15,000 games as well, Dan. We can't forget that as well.
And we also can't forget about the fact that this is a chance for Paps to really not only make an incredible tournament, but also make his season as well. We've seen him at a couple of tournaments already throughout the season, and he has beaten some phenomenal players already here today and yesterday. Took down Webb Nasri, took down Marcuso 7-4.
He might be looking to take down another name, and we have the first goal of the game. And it's Paps looking to take down another big name. The left-footed Neymar here.
ما تقوليش انه هيخسر جوكسون يعني هو كسب مساعد ازاي؟
And he seems to just be loving life here in Manchester.
He can add it to his collection of names that he's taken down. He beat Marco in the previous round, the round of 32. He beat Ajax Tor earlier on in the Swiss phase as well. All names that would have been going up against Paps, saying, hey, wow, I've got a good chance here of progressing. But he's shown that he's here to stay at this tournament. And how is Joksan going to respond?
Well, here comes Joksan then, flicking that one up towards the back post to Hayer will come out and claim, although you did see Cristiano Ronaldo lurking there. And that back stick looking to make some contact on that ball, but just slightly under hit the cross. Mbappe wins it back. Now Joksan can come forward. And this has been a stark reminder to all of the doubters of Joksan. And Gaskin excluded from that conversation.
Thank you.
Now he comes forward again, flicks the ball up to Mbappe, out wide now to Marcelo on the overlap. Got those 5-star skills, and that's allowing him to get the ball up into the air, and Ronaldo can't quite beat the goalkeeper in the second. Clearance there from David De Gea, good work from the Spaniard there to clear the lines for Paps.
And Paps not very animated, just focusing on the task at hand, and I feel like he is one of those players who kind of just has gone under the radar a bit throughout this tournament. He's kept quiet, he hasn't boasted about any results, he hasn't been screaming and shouting, he's just been getting the job done. And if he could take down Joksan, who took down Dasari, I mean, he should be a player we should be looking at that Champions League final, maybe of getting an upset, maybe being one of these English players who could lift a trophy. We've lost Tex from the tournament now. Footwiz Tom, of course, is currently playing at the same time, another English player. Paps did beat Veni earlier, who was eliminated, another English player. And sometimes when you see your fellow players from the same nation eliminated, everything goes onto your shoulders because they're naturally going to start rooting for you.
On the other side of that, seeing your fellow countrymen, your compatriots booking their tickets to Madrid, that's going to fill Joksan with confidence. Alan Avi, one of the first names, the first name on the plane to Madrid. And it's Paps who's coming forward here, battling with Neymar, the two Brazilians. Engages a little bit of warfare down on that left-hand side. And it is Joksan who comes away with the ball. Marcelo invited forward here, lots of grass in front of him to progress into, tries to find the ball into the channel to find Ronaldo. Well defended though by Paps, and now he can come forward. Very similar play styles of these two, Dan.
They're both really targeting the left-hand channel at the moment, trying to utilize the crosses to the back post and take advantage of the fact that Marcelo is on the pitch with the back post headers being available for Cristiano Ronaldo, but Paps has been defending it well. He's noticed that that's the avenue that Joksan is choosing, and he's been pressing well with Sergio Ramos at that right back position. And now, Paps is going to take advantage of Marcelo pushing up the pitch and actually attack the right-hand side.
El Tornado into the box, Neymar arrives! But it skims the top of the crossbar and it's way past the goalkeeper. Unfortunately there for Paps, it was the wrong side of the crossbar. And it will be a goal kick here to Joksan, but a stark reminder there for Joksan that this is going to be a tough game for him if he didn't already know that one down.
Good quick thinking, though, from Paps by saying, all right, I can see that you're really targeting my right flank here. I'm going to allow you to push up a little bit. I'm going to let you push up the pitch with Marcelo. I'm not going to attack you just yet. I'm not going to pressure you yet. As soon as you go past that halfway line, bam, that's when I pressure you. That's when I steal that ball back. And suddenly, instead of attacking 4 defenders, I'm attacking 3. And he's able to create opportunities like that.
Approaching the half-time whistle then at the end of this first half of the first leg. This round of 16 game, this qualification game to the eChampions League final. Joksan creating one more attack. He scored some late goals so far in the tournament. Ball falls back to Neymar. Great reaction save there from David De Gea. High to his left-hand side. Ronaldo now inside to Vieira. It's R9 who gets back in position using that frame to win the ball back. Attempted heel to heel, and Ramos will actually keep this one in, but Joksan gives it away. Maybe the first half will end here with one more attack going to Paps. Mbappe drives around the outside. Will he look for the cross? He floats it up into the box!
Oh.
And it's Neymar who wins the header.
جوكسن
We talk about Ronaldo. We talk about Mbappe and how good they are in the air, but it's the little Brazilian who gets in front of his man and glances it towards the back post.
A massive goal for Paps, potentially the biggest goal in his FIFA career, as he gets a 2-goal cushion now and gets ever closer to that eChampions League last 8 to book that ticket at the Champions League final in Madrid. But still plenty of time left for Joksan, so Paps still has to stay focused, still has to defend well, and what a job he's done defending on that right-hand side of the pitch. Joksan has been peppering it all of that first half, but he hasn't been able to break through.
It's been an uncomfortable first half for Joksan here. I mean, you look at the possession stats, Dan, 68% possession, I think, was in the hands of the Englishman Paps here, and not only that, the 2-goal lead as well. And it's going to be up to Joksan to adapt here, because you can see the clear game plan coming in here from Paps. He is going to attack those wings. He is going to try and get those crosses into the box. And at the moment, Joksan just has no answer to it.
I feel like both of them are trying to go for those crosses. They're both looking for those back post headers, and I don't blame them. They're very strong in FIFA 19. However, you need to have a backup. If it's not working out, you need to be able to try and surprise your opponent. If you've crossed it 3 times in a row, they're going to be expecting it. Come up with something different. Play it backwards towards the center. Try and get a 1-2 to get through those 2 center-backs. Try a long shot from outside. Just do something a little bit different, otherwise you're becoming predictable. And
I mean, even if you go up to get the ball into the air, it doesn't mean you have to follow it up with a cross. We saw Dax, one of those players back at the E-Nations Cup. He's kind of developed this ability to almost bait a player into defending that and lunging in and then just playing a simple pass or a little fake shot inside that player and leaving him for dead. And if he does that, then there might be an opportunity here to break inside that fullback and look for a more simple ball back across goal. But second half underway here. Couldn't have gone better for Paps. In that first half, Joksan, questions to answer.
That is something that I think Paps has been doing very well. He's been luring Joksan into a false sense of security on this right-hand side by not pressuring him instantly, waiting for the right time and then diving in. You can see he's just stepping off. Both players at the moment reluctant to dive in because they don't want to give away a clear-cut opportunity, a clear-cut through ball. But what an interception that is from Modric.
And that's what I want to see, because if the possession stats stay the same as they did in that first half, Joksan's only going to have sort of 3 or 4 opportunities potentially to go forward in this second half. So he needs to try and wrestle the ball away. Here from Paps, ball falls to R9, there's one way back into it. Goals flying in at one end of the ground here.
شكله هيرجع.
2 in the first half for Paps, but Joksan's fired back here with R9.
A little bit of a gift for Joksan. Paps wasn't too happy about it, but that's the ability of R9. That prime icon moments, foot item, which just seems to be here, there, and everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's first time, second time, third time, he's always going to get that shot away at goal. He just manages to maneuver his way past defenders. He's always there for the rebound as well, an absolute poacher, just like he was in real life. And now Paps, his lead is less comfortable. And Joksan is going to finally have something to scream and shout about, something to believe in.
Well, Paps is linking together cricketters here to try and break into the box. Modric round the corner here to Neymar. He scored a header a minute ago. Ramos has upended him, but I think he got the ball in the process. Joksan very much back into this one. And he's been the player that you haven't been able to count out. He's found late goals throughout the tournament, Dan.
He has. He could have been out during the Swiss stage, to be honest. He was down with several players who were fighting for their tournament life, and then once he had got into that round of 32, he probably was dreading the fact he had to face off against Rogue's MS Dasari. But he's here now, and his task is going up against Paps. Again, trying to switch that play to the left-hand side, but it was predicted by Paps, which now gives Paps possession once again.
Pull it in at that full-back position as well, so it looks like Paps might have recognised how Joksan's trying to go forward, but pull it in that full-back position offers a lot going forward as well, obviously with the 4-star skills, those 5-star weak foot. Caught offside there.
I mean, I'd argue he offers a lot going forward when he's in the middle of the pitch, but I'm still unsure about him going down the wings. I don't think it's right. You want him in the box for headers, you want him in the box for his powerful shots that he provides. But his defensive ability is incredible. I don't think I can even doubt that.
And that's why you're seeing more and more players adjusting. Again, that prime icon moments for I am in at left back now. It's become a really valued position on the pitch. The amount of crosses we are seeing. And here comes Joksan again. Patrick Vieira. Oh, gives the ball away here. Ronaldo, the goal scorer. Ball falls back to Neymar. De Gea has to make the save there.
And Paps starting to be put under a little bit of pressure now from Joksan, and it's also going to allow Joksan to make some changes in this first leg. 2 legs are available, of course, and you can see the 4-4-2 currently being played by Joksan as well. I know before the tournament he was saying he was thinking about playing the 4-1-2-1-2 and going for a more direct and possession-heavy in the midfield kind of strategy. But the 4-4-2 is personally one of my favourite formations, both going forward and defensively. But right now, he needs to find the attacking formation that suits him best, because if he just sits back and if he just has possession, it's great, but he needs to find goals.
Well, we've got a score update for you. Again, thanks to the fantastic Jimmy Conrad, who's putting in the yards on the floor at the moment. Zazinho versus Footwiz Tom. Currently tied up at 2-2 there in the 65th minute of the first leg, so goals flying in there. Nothing to separate those two, and no surprise, Dan, that there's games are going to be so close with so much on the line and so much talent in the tournament.
Yeah, huge chance for Footwiz Tom to show what he's made of in individual tournaments. Of course, he was representing England at the E-Nations Cup as well, but unfortunately they saw maybe an earlier exit than they would have expected. Even though they did do very well at that tournament, still wouldn't have been the success that they were probably chasing from the get-go. And now, as an individual player, he might have the chance to get to the final of the eChampions League if he can find a couple more goals against Zazinho.
Here's Paps then. Turns back inside here with Ronaldo. Vieira. Modric on the pitch as well. Eusebio, we know what a deadly finisher he can be if you can get it onto that right foot. Paps just working the space at the moment and working the space for Mbappe to absolutely crush a shot in at the near post.
And you could see how he was trying to work that goal as well. It was pass after pass after pass, looking for space. Double tapping that L1 button, making players run, and then double tapping the R1 button to bring them closer as well. Very difficult to try and defend against that, and even though Joksan was pressuring in the right areas, it's just that one turn that you need to beat that man, get that sight on goal. And he timed it green as well, so very composed, despite how much pressure there is on this game.
And just that little cricketter we saw as well, just a jink away. And you need half a yard of space to get a shot away. What could Joksan do then? Eusebio around the corner here to Messi, gets it on his left foot. He's turning, he gets the shot away, but just that little bit of hesitation there, Dan. Maybe thinking about an extra pass, maybe thinking about trying to find a teammate. Just let that opportunity slip through his hands. That opportunity slip through his hands, and the defenders to get back and make a block.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell whether a player is second-guessing themselves or whether they're just trying to be unpredictable to their opponent. There's the flick up to try and go for the cross, but it's not quite worked out. Still possession in the hands of Paps.
Oh my word, and Paps is absolutely nailing the timing on his shots at the moment. Eusebio there with a left-footed drive. That goal forces De Gea into the save. From the corner, there might be a chance, and there is a chance. And this man right here is on fire right now. 4-1 to Paps.
And I was talking about a peppering,
Check
but we
his
might be able to
Joksan
rename it a peppering at this point, because he's on his way to the Champions League finals if he carries on this form. Joksan just can't seem to close down Paps in these dangerous areas. And he's tucking it away every single time, but still calm, composed. No shouting towards the camera, no screams of vamos, which probably wouldn't see it from Paps anyway because he is English, but you never know. I saw a Japanese player do it earlier.
Just to let you know, Dan, that let's go is the English equivalent of that. I forgot you're American today, so I'll just keep you informed. But straight up the other end now, Joksan's looking to answer back. Game on. 4-2 now. And if there's one thing that we can guarantee we're seeing in this game, it's when there's chances, both of these players are nailing the timing on these finishes. So much power.
And I think you have to when you get to this stage of a competition. You're not going to be in this stage of a competition unless you've been performing that well. You have to time green. You have to know when to hit it and when to pass it. And quite rightly, it is game on. 2 goals, anything can happen. The amount of times throughout this season and throughout this tournament, we have seen 2-goal deficits turned over in just a snap of the fingers. There's so many Thanos quotes I wanted to go with, snap of the fingers, but I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone.
Don't worry, everybody at home, if you haven't been to the cinema, Dan Gaskin is living in fear of potentially spoiling that with me around, so don't worry about that, it's not happening. But back to this game, 4-2 to Paps here. Joksan, though, striking back to make this a more manageable deficit as we head towards the second leg. Into stoppage time here, and Eusebio's come back to help out defensively there. Nip possession back, and Marcelo is just striding forward down this left-hand side. Joksan has players in the box. Can he find another goal here to make this a 1-goal game? Heading towards the second leg. Modric across to Eusebio, and Holly has to step in at the last second to make the tackle. But that man on your screen releases a little breath there. A little bit of tension released from the shoulders at the end of the first leg. 4-2. He heads into the second leg, a 2-goal advantage, Dan.
I think that's how every FIFA player feels when you're able to just not concede in the last minute when your opponent looks threatening, just a puff of the cheeks and just to take a deep breath. But now, words with the coach here for Joksan. No one in Paps' corner. Mark, get over there, go give him some words of wisdom. No, that's not allowed. But either way, he's looking great right now. Honestly, he must be feeling on top of the world. I know he doesn't look it, but he's just calm. I think that's important.
Well, we're actually going to be leaving this game right now to head over to another round of 16 game that we've got going on at the moment. Zazinho versus Footwiz Tom. The last time that you hate to see it sometimes, a penalty shootout to decide who's going to Madrid, but Joksan held his nerve.
But also to have that bravery for Joksan. I mean, he pretty much passed that ball around throughout the entirety of extra time and said, I am prepared to go to penalties. I think I have got the composure. You called him the man of steel going into that one, and he sure showed that he wasn't going to be done by any sort of kryptonite of Paps, and now he's through to the Champions League finals. We can look at some of the highlights. We can look at how Joksan was able to get back into this, because this is when he was 5-3 down, Mark. In the 65th minute is when he began the comeback.
Yeah, he began the comeback, and what a comeback it was. Spencer Owen has got his Istanbul now. If that doesn't fill the criteria, then I don't know what will. A little mistake here, and you can see Mbappe twisting and turning here for Joksan. Hullet into Eusebio. That man doesn't miss when he's put in front of goal. And Joksan, it just...
Players are better when they don't have a voice behind them, when they can just focus on their own game. What I did find funny is you kind of indirectly named Joksan Superman by calling him the Man of Steel. Maybe that could be a nickname that sticks if he's able to get through in this tournament and get through to those Champions League finals. But Paps still stands in his way, and when we were in this game earlier, Paps was cruising. We were thinking, all right, well, Joksan looks like he's not going to find that same form. If Paps can continue, and if he can find what he was doing earlier, then he's still going to be a big, big threat to Joksan.
Extra time then. I'll be fascinated to know how late those goals were scored as well by Joksan as well. Hullet now striding forward for Joksan. Ronaldo turning back inside. Eusebio, we know how deadly he is, the cricketer. Wanting the chance to shoot here, a corner here. To the American, Modric. The attentions of Patrick Vieira. Too much for the Croatian to deal with there as he got the ball into the box. And Joksan now controlling possession, controlling the pace of the game.
And I think that's important when it gets to extra time, is you have to try and really deprive your opponent of that possession, deprive them of chances, make sure that you're taking every possible chance in this extra time period. Let this time just eat away now. 104th minute, wait for it to tick over to 105, and then that's when you go forward, because then you know you can't be counter-attacked. It means you can be a little bit more risky with your ball to try and penetrate your opponent's defense.
Joksan on the attack, Ramos steps in here, and I think that's gonna just help the composure a little bit of Paps there, but he barely had a touch of the ball. And that first half there of extra time, heading towards the second half now, and I'm starting to worry, because the one thing I don't think either of us really want to see, or anyone wants to see at home, is a place in the eChampions League final being decided from the spot.
No, I like to watch the world burn. I want to see a spot decided by penalty shootouts. I mean, I love penalty shootouts. I love the mind games that come with them, but this tie isn't over yet. 15 minutes is still a lot of time in game on FIFA for both of these players to make some chances, to try and make that moment, to try and have their impact on history here at the first ever eChampions League.
And it's only one chance that you need now. With so little time left in the game, it's only 15 minutes in game, which will fly by. So one attack each a lot of the time.
Well, it'll fly by unless you're defending against an opponent, and then it'll feel like it's forever if they're pressing you. And Joksan has the ball from the kickoff. That's what's important. He can have the possession. He can dictate how this second half of extra time is going to go. Is he going to play the ball around and look for maybe just one attack and then take it to penalties at the very least? I mean, I think something was asked of all these players in several interviews after tournaments. Would you rather go to penalties or lose in extra time, or win an extra time and go for a risk? And most of them said, I'd rather play it safe. I'd rather just go to that penalty shootout and take that 50-50.
Well, Spencer Owen has been saying all day, he wants an Istanbul. Well, this might be it here from Joksan, to find your way into the finals in Madrid, having been down 5-3 on aggregate, scoring 2 late goals to send it to extra time. Is there one more bit of magic?
And I really am starting to see the Joksan of old, with how he is dictating this second half, with how he is just playing the ball around comfortably, reluctant to go forward, reluctant to make a mistake. It's what he did back in Paris right at the start of the season. He showed everyone how to defend, how to hold the ball, how to have possession. And he is not going to give Paps a chance to get to the eChampions League via in-game play. He's saying the only reason you're getting there, Paps, is if you beat me on penalties.
And this is going to be horrible here for Paps. He knows that he can't overcommit. He knows that he can't push forward. He knows that he just has to let this happen. And then just try and counter-attack when that chance does come, when Joksan finally comes forward.
But I don't think there's going to be a counter-attack available. The game plan is very clear from Joksan here. It's waiting for that time to tick away. He's waiting for there to be no time left for a counter-attack. He's saying it's all or nothing. Either I get the win or it's going to penalties.
And here is the all. We saw nothing, and Eusebio's round his man. Into the box here. I think there's going to be a free kick here for Paps. Has to send this forward. I think we're going to the spot down.
Yeah, 1 minute of added on time. We are most definitely going to penalties. Unless there's something here. No, it's not. So a penalty shootout to decide who goes to Madrid between Paps and Joksan. First penalty, Eusebio steps up down the middle, calm, collected. And you need to have nerves of steel in a shootout like this.
Joksan from the spot, straight down the middle. It's 1-1. There's been nothing to separate them. Paps saved!
And he gets the first advantage, but can he convert Joksan here?
Oh, Paps has saved it! We're all tied up once again. Luka Modric steps up for the Englishman, down the middle. He takes the lead.
Joksan couldn't take the advantage. But can he equalise? No! The save for Paps puts him ahead and puts him one step closer. And now he's got another penalty, but
Joksan saved it!
Oh my goodness!
Joksan scores here, we're tied up. Ronaldo steps up and he puts it into the side netting. Nothing to separate these two. Hullet from the spot puts it away for Paps.
A must-score penalty for Joksan.
Hullet versus De Gea. Madrid on the line. He puts it away. Sudden death.
Paps sets up with Patrick Vieira. This time
Oh,
goes
he saved
left.
it!
What a
Joksan
save!
saved it
لا
to win it. Mbappe for Joksan. Oh, he saved it.
The absolute audacity to go down the middle. Mbappe
he's
started
down the
again!
middle
again.
Someone go a
عايز
direction!
تخسر بقى.
Joksan to win it
دي
one
في
more
اليمين
time.
في اليمين.
Surely now, surely this is it, and Joksan's done it! What a comeback!
Come on!
And you can see what it means to him. Joksan is going to Madrid.
The resurgence. He's been brought back to life. An incredible start to the season. He took a step away from FIFA for a little bit, but he's back and he's in the eChampions League finals. He's going to Madrid. Commiserations to Paps, of course, because it's at his expense. But what a tournament from Joksan. Not only getting to Madrid, but knocking out MS Dasari on the way, taking down Paps after being down 5-3, and then having the composure to do it in penalty shootout as well. This man has been through absolute everything at this tournament, but he gets that prize that they were all searching for.
And sometimes it's our job to describe what you're seeing, but a few moments of silence, because you saw what